Talk to me about the parents.
Very strict.
Oh, what does that mean? Give it to me.
So my mom and dad were both type A personalities.
Okay.
So it was, and I grew up in a Jewish house, so I could be anything I wanted as long as it was a doctor or a lawyer. And that was pretty much forced down my throat. That's just the way the culture is.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, it was, had to get all A's or damn close to it. Had to do sports all the time or an activity. It was, you went to school, you had an extracurricular activity, you came home, you got good grades, and if you did all those things, you could play with your friends and have some freedom. So it was really strict, and my mom was considered, the bitchy mom from all my friends.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she was tough. She was real tough.
Oh,
but it's good, though. Now, looking back, I hated it at the time. But to your point, she kept me in line. A lot of my peer groups, a lot of my friends growing up haven't achieved the same level of professional success that I did. Not because I'm smarter than them, but because they had probably a little less rigid growing up, and I'm fortunate for it looking back. Like if I can go back, hey, thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. It wasn't enjoyable, but that kept me going. And, I got to observe. My sister was valedictorian of high school. I got asked to leave Scripps Ranch High School for a semester. Yeah, I got caught smoking during football season and got kicked off the team.
No way.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It was a whole thing. I got to come back, but it was
just for smoking?
Smoking weed.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
okay, now it's like, that's cigarettes? That's not bad.
No, it was weed. And back in the 90s, that was frowned upon very differently than today.
Yeah. Now it's like, I think it's a thing.
Yeah, it's legal now.
Yeah, now it's legal. Now we're dealing with much worse things.
But I always rebelled from that kind of structure. I don't draw well in the lines. So for me, it was tough. It was a tough childhood in the sense of I had loving parents, but we didn't get along for a lot of years. I tried to get emancipated.
Really? Shut up.
Yeah, I threatened to get emancipated, but then I realized I had to pay for myself, and I didn't know how. So it all worked. There was a time, honestly, I was so worried that my mom and dad were going to actually send me to one of those male camps that where they come in the middle of the night and they take you.
Yes.
I had like a baseball bat under my bed, and I had this plan in my head. If someone showed up trying to take me, what was going to happen? Like it got tough.
So you were like majorly trying to rebel.
Yes, while still getting good grades though. Magically. So I was rebelling with good grades.
What's Dad doing at this point?
Give
me his role, because Mom obviously was the total terrier. What do you call that?
Bulldog.
A bulldog. What was your dad doing? Was he just say, hey, listen to your mother?
Pretty much. I mean, he was strict too, but my mom was the enforcer. He might have been behind the scenes, but he was a doctor working 60-hour weeks. So we didn't really. So
he went along with Mom's program. They were
yes.
united force.
At least on the forward facing, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Right. Which is important.
Oh, yeah.
Parents, whatever you're doing with your children, you got to be united. You got to be united in front of them. You can't be because the kids will always go to, like my daughter comes, Dad, and she'll call me from the car. Mommy's doing this. Can you? I'm like, so, and I have to back Mommy immediately.
Yep. Of course.
Well, there's a reason. What did you do? Why'd you piss her off? Anyway, it's important on a side note for parenting to be on a united front in front of your children.
Oh yeah,
can't divide.
Especially, and it's hard. It's really hard because sometimes you don't agree with what your spouse does.
Correct.
And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to go with this. Not my plan, but okay, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, we come across that. I'm like, and then off to the side, I'm like, man, why are you doing this? But I back her up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another. We'll go into parenting probably too on this. So, all right, so go back. All right, so strict. So what happened when the did you tell him that you were going to be emancipated? You told him.
I went and met an emancipation lawyer.
Shut up.
Yeah, I was like,
well, how old are you?
16. 16. Yeah, I was like, I'm out of here. I can't, because my mom was one of 3 daughters. She didn't have any brothers, and she doesn't understand that I was. And my sister was very open, but I'm a guy. Like the last thing a 16-year-old guy wants to do is open up to Mom.
Right.
I don't talk about my feelings. I'm 16 years old. And so on top of the fact that she didn't like my friends, she didn't like the fact that I got caught smoking weed. My friends were into stupid shit. I had some friends get arrested for breaking into stuff. I wasn't involved, but she didn't like my friend group.
For the record.
For the record, yes. But no, truthfully, I wasn't involved.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. But as a result of all that, she just didn't like my friends. She didn't like my behavior. She didn't like my view. But I was like, Mom, I'm getting good grades. I play sports. Leave me alone. I'm not getting in trouble, really. Minus the smoking.
For the most part.
Minus the smoking.
Yeah,
incident.
Just a little weed. Not going to hurt anybody.
I was experimenting.
Yeah.
It was 16 years old.
It's part of life.
It is. So, you know, there was that. So I was like, you know what? I don't need to be in this house. Like, I'm a man. I can take care of myself. I'm out of here. And it doesn't really work that way because you're 16. You don't realize that you have to pay bills. You have to do all this stuff. So it didn't end up working that way. But for about a good year and a half, me and my folks really didn't chat much.
So when you told her you were doing this, what was her reaction? Like, yeah, good luck. Have
No,
fun.
it was tears, screaming.
Oh,
you know.
really?
Oh, yeah. It was. I mean, she's a loving mom. She loved me.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Right.
And that's why she was doing everything she was doing. So it came from a good spot. And I was more of the dumbass than you know, if I can go back, it was mostly me.
So now, how's your relationship with her now?
Awesome. Well, yeah, it's amazing.